Have you ever wondered how something as simple as a fall could change your life forever? For many people over 70, it's not just a bruise or a bump, it's the beginning of a dangerous downward spiral. You might think it was just one fall, I'll be fine. But the truth is, a single fall at this age can be the first step toward losing independence, and sometimes even life itself. Every year, millions of older adults fall, but what many don't realize is that falling once significantly increases your chances of falling again. And after that, the risks multiply. A hip fracture can mean months in bed. Time in bed can lead to muscle loss. Muscle loss weakens your balance, limits your mobility, and raises the risk of infections, memory problems, and emotional decline. Before you know it, something that started with a simple slip becomes a health crisis that touches every part of your life. But here's the good news. Most falls are preventable. That's right. With the right awareness and just a few small changes, you can protect yourself and the people you love from the worst-case scenarios. In today's video, we'll reveal why falls become so dangerous after 70, what hidden factors make them more likely, and what you can start doing today to stay strong, steady, and safe. You'll also hear stories from real seniors who turned their fear into action and discovered that preventing falls isn't about living in fear. It's about living with strength, clarity, and confidence. I know you are a person who likes to watch videos quietly. If you have not liked and subscribed to the channel, now is a good time to do it because you are a kind person. If the video is helpful, press 1. If the video is not good enough or needs improvement, press 2. Thanks everyone. Now let's get started. Number 1. Why one fall after 70 changes everything. When 74-year-old James tripped on the edge of a rug in his living room, he didn't think much of it. He wasn't running or doing anything dangerous. He was simply getting up to answer the phone. But the way he landed, awkwardly on his left hip, left him in pain, unable to stand, and in need of help. A trip to the emergency room confirmed a hip fracture. He had surgery, a hospital stay, and weeks of physical therapy ahead. What surprised James wasn't just the pain, it was how quickly everything in his life changed. He went from independent and active to relying on a walker, needing help with daily tasks, and struggling with low energy and low spirits. And it all started with one fall. This isn't a rare story. In fact, it's far too common. For adults over 70, a fall is not just a physical injury, it's a major life event. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 older adults falls each year, and falling once doubles your chance of falling again. But even more alarming is what can happen after that first fall. Many seniors suffer a serious injury like a hip or wrist fracture, and some even suffer traumatic brain injuries. But even when the fall doesn't cause a break, the aftermath can still be severe, leading to fear, loss of confidence, and long-term decline in physical and mental health. One of the biggest reasons a single fall can be so devastating after age 70 is the loss of muscle mass and bone strength that comes naturally with aging. As we get older, we lose muscle, a condition called sarcopenia, and our bones become less dense, osteopenia or osteoporosis. This means the body is both weaker and more fragile, and less able to absorb the impact of even a small fall. A fall that a 40-year-old could brush off might send a 75-year-old to the hospital, but it doesn't stop there. After a fall, many seniors become afraid to move. They start to limit their activity, skipping walks, avoiding stairs, or staying inside just to be safe. This response is understandable, but it's also dangerous. Reduced movement leads to more muscle loss, worse balance, and weaker reflexes. It becomes a downward spiral, less movement, weaker body, higher fall risk. This fear-based inactivity also affects the mind, leading to social isolation, depression, and even cognitive decline. In some cases, even if a senior survives the physical injury, they may not regain their former level of function. Statistics show that 1 out of 5 hip fracture patients over 65 dies within a year, not just from the injury, but from the cascade of health problems it can trigger. Blood clots, infections, pneumonia, and complications from immobility. These are sobering facts, but they aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to wake us up to how serious one fall can be, and why it's so important to take steps before it happens. But here's the part that brings hope. Fall-related decline is not inevitable. James, after his injury, could have given up, but he didn't. With encouragement from his daughter, he began doing strength and balance exercises from a chair. He worked with a physical therapist. He started walking short distances again and learned how to fall safely, how to get up if he needed to, and how to make his home safer. 6 months later, he was no longer using the walker. And more importantly, he was no longer afraid. "I thought I was finished," he said, "but I just needed the right tools." That's the message we hope every older adult hears. A fall can change your life, but so can a few simple actions each day. You don't have to live in fear. You can build strength, regain confidence, and lower your risk. Starting right now. In the next section, we'll look at the hidden health issues that quietly increase your risk of falling, even if you feel steady today, and how to recognize the early signs before they catch you off guard. Number 2, hidden health issues that increase. Fall risk Eleanor, 78, had never thought of herself as someone at risk of falling. She didn't have arthritis, she wasn't frail, and she walked every day, even if it was just around the block. But over the past few months, she noticed something strange. When she stood up too quickly, she'd feel dizzy for a moment. Her feet sometimes felt a little numb in the mornings, and there were moments when she felt a slight tilt in her balance, especially in crowds or on uneven pavement. It wasn't enough to scare her, but it made her cautious. Then one morning, while stepping off a curb, she lost her footing and fell. Thankfully, she didn't break anything, but the experience shook her deeply. When she later spoke to her doctor, she discovered something surprising. The fall wasn't just bad luck. It was the result of several hidden health issues quietly building over time. As we age, many subtle physical and sensory changes can sneak up on us, often without dramatic symptoms, until they result in something serious like a fall. These invisible contributors to instability are common but rarely discussed, which is why so many older adults don't take action until it's too late. One of the biggest culprits is low blood pressure upon standing, also known as orthostatic hypotension. This happens when blood pools in the lower body and the brain doesn't receive enough oxygen-rich blood quickly enough as you rise. The result? Dizziness, lightheadedness, and even blackouts. It's more common in older adults, especially those on certain medications for high blood pressure, heart disease, or depression. And yet, most people never think to measure their blood pressure when changing positions. Another quiet danger is poor vision. As we age, vision naturally declines. But gradual changes in depth perception, contrast sensitivity, and peripheral vision often go unnoticed. A rug that once looked harmless might now blend into the floor. A stair step might seem level. Cataracts, glaucoma, or even dry eyes can distort spatial awareness, making it harder to judge distances and increasing the risk of tripping. Then there's peripheral neuropathy, a condition often caused by diabetes or poor circulation that results in numbness or tingling in the feet. When you can't fully feel the floor beneath you, your brain has to guess where your foot is landing, and that guess isn't always accurate. This leads to missteps, especially when walking on uneven surfaces, in the dark, or without supportive shoes. Inner ear problems can also be sneaky. The inner ear is responsible for helping you stay balanced, and when it malfunctions, due to infection, age-related changes, or even simple wax buildup, it can cause unsteadiness. You might not feel dizzy in the spinning sense, but you may feel off balance, disoriented, or have trouble turning quickly. Medications also play a hidden role. Many seniors take multiple prescriptions, and even common ones, such as sleep aids, sedatives, blood pressure meds, or certain antidepressants, can make you feel groggy, slow your reflexes, or affect your coordination. Sometimes it's not the medication itself, but the interaction between several drugs that creates the risk. Muscle weakness is another silent contributor. You may not feel weak, but if you've been less active lately, your leg muscles, particularly the quadriceps and glutes, may not be strong enough to stabilize you when you stumble. Without strong muscles to catch you, a small wobble can quickly turn into a fall. Eleanor's fall, her doctor explained, wasn't caused by just one issue. It was a combination of slightly low blood pressure, mild neuropathy in her feet, and her new medication making her drowsy in the mornings. None of these on their own seem dangerous, but together they created the perfect conditions for a fall. The good news is that once she understood what was happening, she was able to take action. Her doctor adjusted her medications. She got her vision checked and updated her glasses. She began doing simple exercises to strengthen her legs and improve her balance. Within weeks, she felt more stable and confident. More importantly, she realized that her fall wasn't her fault, but it was a wake-up call. So many seniors think, "I feel fine. I don't need to worry about falling." But often the most dangerous risk factors are the ones you can't feel until it's too late. That's why it's so important to regularly check in with your doctor about your medications, vision, circulation, and muscle strength, even if you haven't fallen yet. In the next section, we'll look at the simple but powerful habits that you can start today to reduce your risk of falling and build a body and mind that stay balanced, steady, and strong. Number 3, daily habits that keep you on your feet. After her fall at the grocery store, 76-year-old Carol became afraid to leave her house alone. She was lucky she didn't break any bones, but the fear of falling again was enough to change her entire routine. She stopped going to her garden, avoided her weekly church group, and even started asking her daughter to run errands she used to handle herself. "I didn't want to be a burden," she said, "but I also didn't want to end up in the hospital." One day, her daughter sat beside her and gently said, "Mom, you don't have to live in fear. Let's find a way to make you strong again." What followed was a set of simple daily habits that helped Carol feel steady, confident, and free once more. The truth is, while falls may seem sudden, your ability to prevent them starts long before your foot ever slips. It begins with what you do, or don't do, every single day. The good news is that you don't need expensive equipment, a gym membership, or a medical degree to protect yourself. What you need are small, consistent habits that gently strengthen your body, sharpen your awareness, and restore your trust in your own movement. The first and most important daily habit: move your body every day. Motion builds strength, and strength builds stability. But don't worry, this doesn't mean doing push-ups or jogging. For older adults, the best movements are gentle and focused. A daily walk around the house or garden, standing up and sitting down slowly from a chair several times in a row, raising your heels and lowering them while holding the back of the couch. Even simple ankle circles and shoulder rolls can wake up your nervous system and improve circulation. These movements help your legs, core, and balance muscles stay alert, and more importantly, help your brain stay connected to how your body moves through space. The second essential habit is balance training. Yes, balance can be trained, just like strength. Practice standing on one foot while holding onto a counter. Walk in a straight line heel to toe, like walking a balance beam. Try slowly turning your head from side to side while keeping your eyes focused. These small drills might seem simple, but they challenge your vestibular system, the part of your brain and inner ear that controls balance. Over time, this improves your body's ability to adjust quickly when something unexpected happens, like a slippery floor or uneven sidewalk. Carol began her mornings by holding the back of a sturdy chair and lifting one foot at a time while brushing her teeth. In the afternoons, she'd walk slowly from room to room, pausing to touch the wall or gently turn in place. These were not exercises in the traditional sense. They were habits stitched into her day, and they worked. The third habit that makes a big difference: pay attention to your surroundings. A cluttered home, loose rugs, poor lighting, or wearing socks on hardwood floors. These may seem harmless, but they're the hidden traps that catch you off guard. Make it a daily habit to check your walking areas. Is there a cord in the way? Is the floor wet? Is there something you might trip over if you get up at night? These small inspections take seconds but can prevent a life-changing fall. Another often overlooked habit is hydration. Dehydration can cause dizziness, fatigue, and confusion, all of which increase your risk of losing your balance. Many seniors drink less water because they don't feel as thirsty as they once did, but your body still needs it. Make it a habit to drink a glass of water with each meal and one more between meals. Your brain and muscles will thank you. Let's not forget about footwear. Wearing the right shoes every day is a habit that can literally change how you move. Shoes should be supportive, with a firm sole and a non-slip bottom. Avoid slippers that slide or shoes that feel too loose. Keeping your toenails trimmed and feet clean also helps you stay sensitive to the ground and prevent missteps. And finally, check in with your body each morning. When you wake up, before you jump out of bed, sit up slowly. Wiggle your toes, roll your ankles, stretch your arms. Let your body adjust before you start moving. This gives your circulatory system time to catch up and your balance time to stabilize. Carol didn't become fearless overnight, but each day she practiced these habits, she felt a little more in control. She began walking to her mailbox again, then around the block with a neighbor. Her confidence grew not because she was told to be brave, but because her body proved to her that it could move, balance, and protect her. These habits are not complicated. They don't require hours of effort, but when done daily, they send a powerful message to your brain and body. I am still strong. I am still capable. I am still here. In the next section, we'll explore how nutrition, what you eat, and what you might be missing plays a crucial role in fall prevention and bone protection. Because staying on your feet isn't just about movement, it's also about what fuels you from the inside out. Number 4, nutrition that supports strength and balance. After her second fall, 82-year-old Nancy started asking herself a question most people her age avoid. What's really happening to my body? She wasn't clumsy, and she didn't have a history of illness, but she felt weaker than before, like her legs couldn't quite keep up with her thoughts. Her doctor told her that her bones were more fragile than they should be, and her muscles weren't recovering from activity the way they used to. It's just age, she thought, until a nutritionist explained something she had never considered. The food she was eating every day was either helping her stay upright or silently weakening her from the inside out. Nutrition isn't just about energy or weight. For older adults, it's the foundation of strength, muscle repair, bone density, nerve signaling, and even reflexes. Every bite you take sends a message to your body, and the right foods can literally help you stay on your feet. The wrong ones, however, can make you slower, weaker, and more prone to dangerous falls. Let's start with protein, the building block of muscle. As we age, our bodies naturally lose muscle mass, especially if we're not moving as much as we used to. But even those who exercise regularly still need adequate protein to maintain and rebuild their muscles. Many older adults, like Nancy, unknowingly eat too little protein. A piece of toast for breakfast, a light soup for lunch, and maybe some fruit at night may feel healthy, but it lacks the muscle-repairing nutrients your body is craving. When your muscles don't get enough protein, they weaken, and weak muscles mean poor balance, slower reactions, and higher fall risk. Adding a source of protein to each meal, whether it's eggs, Greek yogurt, beans, chicken, fish, or even a small protein shake, gives your body what it needs to stay strong. Nancy started adding scrambled eggs to her mornings and chicken to her lunch salads, and within weeks, she noticed her energy returning and her legs feeling more stable. Another key nutrient is calcium, which supports bone health. Our bones are constantly being broken down and rebuilt, and calcium is the main ingredient in that process. Without enough calcium, bones become brittle, and when they break, they don't heal as quickly. Dairy products like milk, cheese, and yogurt are good sources, but so are leafy greens like kale and collard greens, almonds and canned fish with soft bones like sardines or salmon. Nancy, who had been avoiding dairy because of old advice from a magazine, began reintroducing yogurt into her diet, and her digestion actually improved along with her bone health. But calcium doesn't work alone. It needs vitamin D to be absorbed properly. And vitamin D is something most older adults don't get enough of, especially those who stay indoors. Without it, even a calcium-rich diet won't help much. Sunshine is one of the best sources, but in colder months or for those with limited mobility, a daily vitamin D supplement, as approved by a doctor, may be necessary. Nancy began spending 10 minutes each morning by her sunny window, and her doctor added a low-dose vitamin D supplement to her routine. Let's not forget magnesium and potassium, two minerals that help with muscle function, nerve signaling, and fluid balance. Bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, and nuts are all rich in these minerals. They help muscles contract smoothly, prevent cramps, and allow the nervous system to respond quickly when you stumble or shift your weight. Hydration also plays a crucial role in strength and balance. Even mild dehydration can cause fatigue, dizziness, and confusion, all of which increase fall risk. But many seniors don't drink enough water because they're afraid of having to use the bathroom too often or simply don't feel thirsty. Nancy admitted she only drank coffee in the morning and maybe tea at night. Once she started sipping water throughout the day and added a small glass with each meal, her mental clarity improved, and so did her steadiness. Equally important is what you avoid. Excess sugar, highly processed foods, and too much alcohol can increase inflammation in the body, interfere with nutrient absorption, and weaken muscles over time. While the occasional treat is fine, a diet heavy in cookies, white bread, or frozen meals often lacks the nutrition the aging body needs to thrive. Nancy began planning simple, balanced meals. Not complicated recipes, just real food. Grilled fish, a baked sweet potato, and a handful of spinach sautéed in olive oil, a bowl of oatmeal with fruit and walnuts, yogurt with berries, and a sprinkle of flaxseed. It wasn't just about eating to survive anymore. It was about eating to stay standing. Nutrition may not seem like the first thing you'd think about when it comes to fall prevention, but it plays a far more powerful role than most people realize. Every cell in your body, from your muscles to your bones to your brain, depends on what you feed it. And when you nourish your body well, it becomes your strongest ally in staying independent, mobile, and safe. In the next section, we'll look at how your home environment, the lighting, the flooring, even the way your furniture is arranged, can silently increase or decrease your risk of falling, and how a few small adjustments could make your home one of the safest places to move with confidence. Number 5. How your home might be putting you at risk. Frank had lived in the same home for over 40 years. It was filled with memories, family photos on the wall, his favorite recliner in the living room, and a cozy rug that had been there since his grandkids were babies. He felt safe there, comfortable. But when he tripped over the edge of that very rug one evening and hit his shoulder on the corner of the coffee table, he realized something that shocked him. The place he thought was the safest had quietly become one of the most dangerous. That fall was a wake-up call, not just about balance, but about how easily a familiar environment can turn into a hidden hazard as we age. Many older adults feel most at ease in their homes, and understandably so. But the truth is, over 75% of falls among seniors happen right at home. Not outside, not in public, but in kitchens, bedrooms, and hallways, places that were once easy to move through but now require more caution and support. The reason? Our homes are rarely designed with aging bodies in mind, and small environmental factors that once didn't matter can quietly become fall traps. One of the most common culprits is poor lighting. As vision naturally declines with age, shadows in dim areas can hide tripping hazards, uneven surfaces, or changes in flooring. Frank realized that his hallway had no nightlight, and in the early mornings, when he'd get up to use the bathroom, he was walking nearly blind. A simple fix, adding plug-in nightlights and brighter bulbs, made a major difference in his sense of safety. Another risk lies in flooring transitions. Going from carpet to tile or tile to hardwood may not seem like a big deal, but for feet that aren't as sensitive or steady, that subtle shift in traction can lead to a slip. Add to that area rugs that slide, curled up edges, or slippery mats near sinks, and you've got a recipe for an unexpected fall. Removing loose rugs or using non-slip backing and adding grip tape to stairs or bathtubs can prevent more accidents than most people realize. Clutter also plays a huge role. We don't think twice about a box in the hallway, shoes near the door, or stacks of magazines on the floor until they're suddenly underfoot. What once was organized the way I like it might now be an obstacle course. Frank's daughter helped him go room by room, clearing pathways, rerouting cords, and relocating furniture to create open, clear walking spaces. It didn't take away the charm of the house. It simply made it safer to enjoy. Stairs and bathrooms are two of the riskiest areas in any home. For stairs, good lighting and sturdy handrails on both sides are crucial. Anti-slip treads can give extra grip. In bathrooms, where wet floors are common, installing grab bars near the toilet and shower, using a shower chair, and placing non-slip mats can dramatically reduce fall risk. These changes aren't about admitting weakness, they're about staying independent longer. Frank also realized his favorite furniture was part of the problem. His recliner, while comfortable, sat so low that getting up required effort and caused him to lean forward dangerously. Chairs and sofas that are too low or too soft can throw off balance when standing up. Switching to firmer, higher-seated chairs gave him the support he needed without sacrificing comfort. Even how you store things matters. Reaching high up on shelves or bending too low can make you lose balance. Placing frequently used items at waist or shoulder height reduces the need for stretching or crouching. Frank moved his coffee mugs from the high shelf to a drawer near the counter, something that seemed small but saved him a daily moment of strain. Footwear in the house also makes a difference. Many people wear socks at home, but socks on hardwood or tile are slippery. Frank began wearing supportive, non-slip house shoes instead, something his doctor recommended and his feet quickly thanked him for. Importantly, safety-proofing your home doesn't mean making it feel like a hospital. It means adapting your space to support the life you want to live. Frank's home still held all his memories, but now it also supported his health. He could walk confidently, reach things without hesitation, and no longer feared the hidden dangers in the place he loved most. The most dangerous thing about these risks is how invisible they can be. Because they're part of your everyday life, you stop noticing them. That's why it helps to walk through your home with a fresh perspective. Or even better, with a family member or health professional asking, if I had trouble seeing, reaching, or stepping, would this be safe? Making your home safer doesn't mean you're fragile. It means you're smart, proactive, and planning for the future. Your home should be a place where you feel empowered, not afraid to move. In the next section, we'll explore how staying socially connected and mentally active also plays a powerful role in fall prevention, and why your brain's alertness is just as important as your body's strength when it comes to staying on your feet. Number 6, why staying mentally sharp helps prevent falls. When 81-year-old Richard fell while stepping off a curb, the doctors didn't just check his bones, they also checked his mind. He seems a little disoriented, the nurse said to his daughter. Has he been forgetting things lately? That moment led to a deeper conversation about how cognitive health, not just physical strength, plays a critical role in fall prevention. What many people don't realize is that your brain isn't just in charge of thinking and remembering, it's also your internal GPS, your reaction center, and your balance command post. When it slows down, everything else follows. The brain is responsible for constantly scanning your environment, processing signals from your eyes, ears, muscles, and feet, and making split-second decisions to keep you upright. When everything is working well, these decisions happen so fast you don't even notice them. You adjust your step, grab a railing, avoid a crack in the sidewalk. But as we age, cognitive changes like slower reaction time, mild memory issues, or reduced focus can affect the brain's ability to keep us physically safe. And if you're distracted, confused, or mentally foggy, the risk of a fall increases dramatically. Cognitive decline doesn't always start with big dramatic signs. It can begin subtly. A little more forgetfulness, trouble following conversations, losing track of time, or struggling to multitask. These issues may seem unrelated to balance, but they can impact your ability to navigate your surroundings safely. For example, stepping over a threshold while holding a bag of groceries requires coordination, awareness, and timing. If your mind is even a second behind, your body might not respond in time. Research has shown that mild cognitive impairment, MCI, even before it progresses to dementia, significantly raises the risk of falling. Why? Because judgment, decision-making, and spatial awareness all come from the brain. And when those areas are under stress or decline, it's easier to misjudge a step, forget to use a cane, or lose track of where you are, especially in unfamiliar environments. But the encouraging news is that, just like muscles, the brain can stay strong when exercised regularly. Staying mentally active isn't just good for memory. It's a key part of staying upright. Simple daily activities like reading, writing, doing puzzles, learning new skills, or having stimulating conversations can improve focus, processing speed, and attention. all of which help prevent falls. Richard's daughter began encouraging him to read the newspaper aloud every morning, complete a daily crossword puzzle, and start journaling about his day. These small changes reawakened his mind and over time improved not only his recall, but also his confidence. He stopped feeling foggy and started feeling more alert. During his follow-up appointments, his balance tests improved, not because his legs were suddenly stronger, but because his brain was better at telling them what to do. In addition to mental stimulation, social connection plays a huge role in brain health. Isolation can accelerate cognitive decline. Talking with friends, telling stories, laughing, and even playing games with others helps keep the brain engaged and the senses alert. When your mind is active and your mood is positive, you're naturally more tuned into your surroundings and less likely to miss a step. Sleep is another underrated aspect of cognitive health. Poor or interrupted sleep leads to fatigue, slower thinking, and trouble concentrating, all of which impact coordination and reaction time. Making sure you get deep, restful sleep allows the brain to restore itself and improves your ability to stay alert during the day. Richard began a relaxing bedtime routine, reduced screen time before bed, and limited caffeine in the afternoon. His sleep improved, and so did his balance during the day. Medications that affect brain function can also increase fall risk. Sedatives, sleep aids, anti-anxiety drugs, and even some over-the-counter medications can make you feel groggy, dizzy, or confused. If you're taking any of these, talk to your doctor or pharmacist about alternatives, side effects, and the timing of doses to minimize risk. So what does all this mean? It means that a sharp mind supports a steady body. You don't need to do brain games for hours or enroll in a memory course. You just need to keep learning, keep thinking, and keep connecting. Your brain and body are a team, and when they're both awake, aware, and working together, you're far more likely to stay safe and independent. Richard eventually returned to his walks, not alone, but with his grandson. They talk about the headlines, share jokes, and quiz each other on capital cities. It wasn't about proving how smart he was. It was about keeping his brain in motion along with his feet. And the difference showed not just in how he moved, but in how he smiled. More present, more confident, more alive. In the next section, we'll explore what happens after a fall and how what you do in the first hours and days afterward can make the difference between a full recovery and a long-term setback. As we've seen throughout this video, falling after the age of 70 is not just a moment of bad luck. It can be a turning point, one that either sets you on a path toward decline or one that wakes you up to take charge of your health, your habits, and your future. But here's the truth that so many people need to hear. A fall doesn't have to mean the end of your independence. It can be the beginning of your comeback. The steps we've talked about, strengthening your body, staying mentally sharp, improving your home environment, nourishing your bones and muscles, and seeking help when something feels off, are not complicated. They don't require perfect health or a gym membership. They require something much more powerful: your willingness to care for yourself with awareness, courage, and consistency. You are not fragile. You are resilient. Your body may be aging, but it still listens to what you give it. Every small change you make, every stretch, every sip of water, every mindful step across your living room sends a message to your brain and bones. We are still here. We are still strong. We are still moving forward. If you or someone you love has fallen, don't let fear take the wheel. Let it be your reason to get stronger, to reach out, to learn, and to rebuild. Because staying on your feet isn't just about balance. It's about reclaiming the confidence to live fully, freely, and on your own terms. Thank you for spending this time with us. We hope you feel more informed, more empowered, and more hopeful. Because your life still has many steps left to take. And we want every single one of them to be steady, safe, and strong. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and haven't yet liked and subscribed, now is the perfect time to do so. It really helps our channel grow and reach more people who need this kind of helpful content. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you'll always know when a new video is up. Your support truly means the world to us. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.